My name is Susie Berry and I run Serene Senses. Now, I'm an Eden Energy Medicine practitioner, and usually when I've got a client in front of me, I would do specific kinesiology tests to see where their imbalances lie and how I can go about fixing them so that they get their best homework for themselves. During lockdown, obviously, I can't do those kinesiology tests personally, so I decided to do a different meridian each week. And this week is the bladder meridian. I'm just going to go through how the bladder meridian works, what you can do to help yourself if you've got a slightly weak bladder, how you can help yourself. Now, one of the most important factors to know about bladder is that the meridian runs right down either side of your spine. And so if you have any problems with nerves, then bladder meridian is probably one of the best things to focus on. Usually it affects kind of nervous shakes. It can have impacts upon epilepsy and MS. And naturally, if you're just a really nervous person, have a weak bladder, that can all be impacted upon by what I'm going to teach you today. So hopefully I'm going to get started off with bladder neurolymphatics. Now, your bladder and your lymphatics can be a little bit tender. All neurolymphatics, usually the first time you work them, they can feel a little bit sore. Bladder particularly, especially if you've not gone to pee, it's not really one that you would want to do outside because you're going to have to press down on quite a tender part of your body. So I'm going to jump back onto the table so you can see where I'm pressing and follow on. So basically you're going to come to your belly button and then just work 2 inches out, and there you're going to press and massage. And these are the first set of your bladder neurolymphatics, and usually over time you'll find that you can press in a little bit further each day. Sadly, the thing with neurolymphatics is that the sorer they are, the more you probably need to work them. So if this is sore, work them little and often and keep coming back to this. It might be easier doing it in the shower with a little bit of gel or some soap so you can really press in. You really want to give that a good jiggle and get in as deep as you can, working either side of your belly button. This just helps move your lymph along so you can really detox. Okay, and breathe nice and deeply so you can handle the pain. Okay. Now the next set is a little bit awkward. It's not something that you'd want to do while out and about, because basically you're going to come right to your pubic bone and you're going to massage there. And again, this can be quite tender. You're just going to work here for a few minutes. So really pressing in as hard as you can, putting in a lot of tension. I'm going to come in underneath my skirt so I can get in a bit deeper and just bend over. You can press in quite hard. Really helps your bladder. And you really want to be able to get in at that muscle and strengthen it just by doing a little massage. So you want to rub here and just at your belly button, well, either side of your belly button, to really strengthen up your bladder and your lymphatics. Okay, so hopefully that wasn't too sore or painful. Like I said, if it is, little and often. If it's not, great. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Try and work it. I usually do my whole neurolymphatic system when I go in the shower, just work through it. At one point, I actually had the laminate of the neurolymphatic points up on my bathroom. You can get that at innersource.net. It's really valuable tool to learn for yourself, learning how to work with your neurolymphatics so that you can unclog your whole lymphatic system, do your own natural lymphatic drainage so you can get any toxins out of your system. It feels great. So your bladder alarm point, it sits, so it's a few inches below your belly button, so just above your pubic bone. And you're going to use that. So if you have a little crystal, so I usually use a little one like this and just use it in the auric field above it, just to work with that bladder point. If I've got a client, because I don't really feel comfortable working right there. If you are on your own, then you can just massage here yourself, or you can do what we were doing a couple of weeks ago. We were working with the electromagnetics of the large intestine point, going back and forth. You can do the same with your bladder alarm point. Your bladder point, it's probably one of the most sensitive to electromagnetic fields. So working with the electromagnetics in your own hands can be really powerful. You can even just build up the static in your hands before you work on this alarm point and just see if you can shift the energy there just by pressing your hand on one side and then flipping over and just shifting the energy in and out of your bladder point. And it really helps to move things along. This can help you to go with the flow. Okay. Okay, so your bladder neurovasculars are right at the corner of either eyebrow. So I'm going to come and sit down so you can see a bit better. So just in here, that's where your bladder meridian starts. And basically, you're going to tap in there a little while just to really stimulate your bladder meridian to start working. The same way that you did with your kidney meridian and your stomach, really tapping in at the start points on that meridian to get it to flow well. And you're just, once you've tapped that to begin that flow, you're just going to hold your fingers either side of the side corner of your eyebrow, and then just bring two fingers just above. And you're going to hold here for a little while. And while you do this, I'd like you to close your eyes and just repeat the affirmation, I feel joyful, hopeful, and fully alive. And I'm going to get you to hold here for a little while, because a lot of us are really not feeling that right now. And just looking through my Facebook, a lot of us are really struggling with that sense of hope, with the corona coming in, with the police violence worldwide. It can really bring that sense of hope into question. And so sometimes what is really important to do is just acknowledge how you're feeling and see where you're at, rather than just trying to lie to yourself, bring an affirmation in that's just saying, you know, because your body will naturally kick back if you're holding points and you're saying to yourself, I feel joyful, hopeful, and fully alive, when actually you're thinking, oh, the police are horrible people or whatever, then it's not going to work. So holding here, I want you to really focus in on something that does make you feel hopeful. And actually, I was really lucky the other day. I was in the park holding a pair of LED poles while my friend was holding a fire staff. Now, the police came into the park, and I was almost definite that they would tell him to put off his fire staff. And, you know, they might warn my other friends to go away because of social distancing and so on. But actually, all my friends were being quite understanding and keeping their distance and so on. And I was keeping my different distance from my own friend because, well, he was on fire. So that makes sense. And the police were really nice. They were actually, you know, they were complimentary of my poise skills and my friend's staff skills, and it was really nice. So I guess for me, this the whole thing that's going on at the moment with the police and and noting the racism and bigotry that's in the world, it can really bring about a sense of despair to people. So just acknowledge where you're at with that and try to bring your mind to something that gives you hope. So I'm going to keep on reminding myself of that little interaction with the police that I had the other day that was really pleasant. And I hope that you have something equally pleasant to bring your mind into a sense of hope, whatever that might be just now. And you might want to pause the video and hold here for a while longer, or you might want to just join me in going on to the next thing. I'm just going to stop talking for a little while so I can take note of whether or not I can feel pulses in my fingers. You might notice pulses or tingling or heat in your own, so just stop for a little while and see if you can take note of that yourself. Okay, yeah. So that kind of stimulated the start of the bladder meridian to bring blood to the front of my head so that I can think straight, so that I can feel a little bit more hopeful. And I hope that's done the same for you. Later on, I'll be delivering a meditation. I would advise, if you can, to lie back and prop yourself up and hold here and here to stimulate that flow of hope as I go through the meditation with you later, if you decide to choose to join in then. So I hope you enjoy that. Those points can always be held by yourself, or if you're lucky enough to have a partner that is willing to just hold your head for a little while and talk through your feelings of hopelessness. It's really interesting to think of that affirmation, I feel joyful, hopeful, and fully alive, and think about what it means for you. Is it possible to feel fully alive when you're locked in the house? I think it is. I think you really can. It's all up here. So yeah, let's see how we can do that today. Okay. So your source point is on your feet. So I'm going to jump up so you can see my feet. Okay. Okay. So it is just after your heel. So you've got the ball of your heel here, and you'll feel just after the ball of your heel, you'll feel like the start of a little knobbly bone. And just below that little knobble there, that is where your bladder source point is. Okay, so you can hold here or massage here. You might feel it's a little bit sore, especially if you've been feeling nervous or fearful. And really press in here as much as you can. Just working that point. So your bladder source point gives a direct energy hit to the organ itself, not just to the meridian. So hopefully, if you're feeling like you've got an actual weak bladder at the moment, this is a really great point to just remember and go to. It's a quick fix. So if you're ever out and about and can't get to the toilet quickly, you can always just rub here instead. Okay. And then just bring your fingers either side of the point and just pull apart. Really drawing your foot apart. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So go from the ball of your foot, so you're just going to come down a little bit until you feel that knobbly bone, and just underneath it. I'm going to work there. This point is called bladder 64 if you want to look up any guides online, just so you can be very accurate if you're the type of person that likes looking at accurate acupressure points. I usually just tend to feel about for where is sore or crunchy for myself, and I work in there. But I always usually like to refer to diagrams if I'm working with a client. So just massage or give that a good rub in there, and then just pull apart. Okay. And if you want to, you can always work with little crystals as well, and just work in the auric field there as well. So okay. So again, I'm wearing all blue today because the bladder meridian relates to the color blue. So I'm going to just use a little blue stone just to work that point. You can always take any blue stone that you like. If you happen to be a purveyor of crystals like myself, you can just use a blue crystal to work over that point. If you know how crystals work, you can use it and just rub gently over the bladder 64 point using a blue crystal. That will help that. Okay. So now you've tapped and massaged the beginning. You're going to massage the end. So the end point is on either pinky toe. So you're just going to pull out your pinky toe. Mine quite often cracks. So give it a good wiggle, really working it, massaging it, and giving it a good little tap. Stimulate that flow to work from beginning to end. You might want to just massage up the gates in between the fourth and fifth toe, and massage down the side of your whole foot, really stimulating that bladder meridian to flow as well as you want it to. So tap it all along. Okay. And then just coming to the other foot, just pulling out your pinky toe, just tapping in on there, and then massaging all the way along. Just giving a good rub. So one of the reasons that the Wayne Cook is so powerful, I was teaching the Wayne Cook exercise a while back, the reason that it's so powerful is that you're holding on to spleen points on one side and bladder points on the other. So you're giving a good squeeze on both sides. And that can really help with grounding. And it can also help just bring energy up the spleen and down the bladder. And it helps stimulate that flow. So you've got a connected circuit there. So you can just squeeze gently on both sides of the feet. It's really good way to stimulate your feet. Okay, make sure you're nice and grounded. Okay, so now that we've massaged the beginning and the end of the bladder meridian, we are now going to flush it, which means that we're going to work backwards. We're going to trace the whole meridian backwards, and then we're going to trace it forwards 3 times so that we are using that flow to get rid of any clogged energy that you don't want to hold on to. So it starts off at your baby toe. The backwards flow starts at your baby toe. So you're going to start at your baby toe, draw your hands up your legs, the back of your legs, and straight up your back. Okay. And then from there, bring your hands to your lower back, straight up. And then bring your hands to either side, up and over your head. Okay. Now I'm going to do this a couple of times because I know that probably is quite complex. Bladder is your longest meridian in the body and it splits. So I'm going to make sure you know how to flush it and you're really feeling alive because of that. So now we're going to go forwards. So you're going to think of things that make you feel vibrant, joyful, and fully alive. So bring your hands to your breathing in, just drawing your hands over the back of your head, to your back, straight down to your buttocks, and then up to the side of your back and down and off your pinky toe. I'm just going to do that a couple more times. So from your eyebrows, over the back of your head, back of your back, straight down to your buttocks, to your back, and straight off your pinky toe. One more time to your eyebrows, to the back of your head, to your back, your buttocks, and then down and straight off your pinky toe. Right, okay. I'm going to do that bladder tracing a couple more times, just going back and forth to flush it. So I'm going to start off at your pinky toes once more. So from your pinkies, straight up the back of your leg, up to your shoulders, and then from your glutes, straight up to your back, joining your hands up and over your head, and then from your head, around the back, bring your hands as high up as you can. If you can't get them as high as me, just visualize that. Bring them down to your glutes, and then back up, and then straight down off your pinky toe again. Then from back to your head, around your back of your head, around your back, off your glutes, off your pinky toe, and then one more time from your eyebrows to the back of your head, to the back, down to your glutes, and off your pinky toe. Okay, this made me feel quite warm actually doing that. Be interesting to get some feedback, let me know how doing that is making you feel. Okay, so that alarm point that I was talking about just at the start, so it sits a few inches below your belly button, so you're just going to press in there, and at the same time you're going to come a couple of inches above your nipples, just in line with your nipples and in line with the edge of your armpit, and you're going to hold here and here. I'm going to sit back because I'm quite likely to start shaking after a while, because these points are heart electrics. This point up here relates to the electricity of your heart, and what you are doing holding here and here is boosting your heart electric to your bladder. You're pumping electricity through your body, kind of almost working like jump lead, allowing your bladder to get the energy that it needs from your heart. So you might find holding here after a little while that your hands start to tingle. They might start to heat up. You might start to feel pulses, or your whole body might start to shake. Now, usually if I'm holding here for a good 20 minutes or so, my whole body does start to shake. I'm not going to do that while you are doing the meditation. If you're joining in at 8 o'clock, you can hold the neurovasculars, as I was describing earlier, holding onto either side of your eyebrows together with your forehead, or you can hold here. Just hold whichever one makes you feel most comfortable, or makes you feel like you've got more of an energetic shift from it. With the meditations, I would say probably the neurovascular is a little bit more subtle, nice flowing energy. You might feel that this is really intense and you like that intensity. It's totally personal. It's always great to get good feedback on what it feels like to hold these points. Okay, so I'm just going to hold here for a little while longer. Like I said, it's a few inches below the belly button and a couple of inches above the nipples. So you're just holding here. You can always massage or rub either of them or together, or just hold whichever you feel like it. It usually takes a few minutes to kind of kick in, to start feeling that heat. If you do hold on to them for only a few minutes, it's always important to just twist the skin when you come off, so that you almost can maybe give yourself a slight electric shock internally if you don't just work with the fascia. You can never really overdo electrics when you're holding on to them, but you don't want to let go and then feel a bit uncomfortable or unsure of what's going on. So holding here for a little while and just taking note of how it feels in my body. I'm going to stop talking for a little while, close my eyes, and just tap into how it makes me feel to hold here. Okay, and as expected, I started to have a little bit of a digestive expression, which is totally, I'm really used to it now, and started to shake. If that happens to you, just kind of go with it. The worst thing you can do when you're working with your energies is to kind of start questioning why something's happening. Just let that energy flow through you and smile. And just be grateful that you've made some kind of shift. So now that I know that that's shifted, I'm going to move on to the next thing, which involves some tennis balls. If you watched a while back and you were inspired to create your own little massage tool with the tennis balls and sock, then great, you can join in with me. Or if you just happen to have a tennis ball handy, then you can also join in. If you have neither, then just continue holding here. For just now, I'm just going to twist either side of that point down below, and I'm going to twist skin just back and forth at the hard point. I'm just going to pull that part as well. Here. Okay, so my tennis balls aren't actually handy right now. The next best thing that I've got is balding balls. So I use these balding balls usually when I've got a client that I massage. I use them directly over, up and down their spine. I also actually have this massage chair that I use for myself. It's made by Meridian and it puts a lot of pressure in. I would really advise using it for just now. If you have the tennis balls, then go ahead and use them up against the wall. I'm going to use these balding balls. It's totally a personal choice. If you can handle the pressure of the balding balls, then go ahead. Most people probably can't because I use this Homedics thing every day. That's been what's been capable of me being able to deal with the pressure. So what I'm going to do is just put the balding balls either side of my spine and gently go up and down. Okay. It's a lot nicer, I'd say, with the tennis balls, just because it gives it even pressure. But I don't have the tennis balls to hand, and the balding balls, they give that added benefit of it being metal, so therefore helping with the electromagnetics in your spine. I'm just going to work up and down, just really working into my either side of my spine, working that bladder meridian. Okay. Just take it to the top of my spine and really massage in there. Balding balls, they are available through eBay and Amazon. They are really cheap and really simple, really useful tool. The sound, the vibration helps with your auric field, and the metal against your skin helps to balance out your natural electromagnetics. So you can just use it on the base of your spine, going up and down. I am now going to go on to the acupressure points. I'm going to work specifically using a 3-point technique, which is where you sedate and then strengthen and then control the energy moving through your bladder meridian. And the reason I'm doing that is because I can't test everybody. It's best to kind of do a blanket to make sure that everybody is equal, so you're controlled. If I had a person here, I would probably check if they were under-energized or over-energized and then do one or the other. But this technique helps to balance everybody controlled. If you can't touch your toes for any reason, then just hold here and here, or hold the heart electric along with your bladder alarm point a few inches below your belly button. The acupressure points do a somewhat different role. Your neurovasculars affect your sense of hope and emotions. Your electrics will shift the electrical currency almost that's moving through your body, whereas your acupressure techniques, these allow for one meridian to talk to another, and allow that flow to occur more evenly. So that's what I'm going to be teaching you for the next little bit. So 3-pointing bladder. So I'm going to start off by sedating. And your bladder sedation points are on your feet. Now I'm going to do it with my legs crossed, because you can actually get to both of your points on your feet equally at the same time. So what you do is you just come to an inch below the end of your big toe. Okay, so take your 2 fingers, put them either side of the end of your big toe, and then you're actually probably easier to work the gallbladder one first. Go from your 4th toe, you're going to come straight up the middle of your foot, and you're going to put your pinky and your 4th finger there, and the other 2 fingers, you're going to put them an inch below your pinky toe. Okay, so you're going to hold there. So that's moving up from your 4th finger to the middle of your foot. You have gallbladder 42, and an inch below the end of your pinky toe, you have bladder 65. You're going to hold there for a little while. So the reasoning behind this one is you are allowing for energy to flow from your bladder into the gallbladder. And I know it's not how it works physically, but on the Chinese medicine wheel, that is how the flow works energetically. You're allowing for energy to pass through. Because if you think about it, when you are feeling hopeless, you tend to get angry and frustrated, and it works the same way background. So what holding these points does is allow the 2 meridians to talk to one another, so that you can let go of any judgments or any sense of anger, and allow for letting go of that to bring about a sense of hope. So when you are holding on to anger and judgments, that is what tends to make you feel fearful about what's going to be happening in the world, and it stops you from being able to allow hope to flourish. So just take a few moments, some nice deep breaths in here. I'd like you to just affirm to yourself, because I let go of judgments and assert myself peacefully, I can feel vibrant, joyful, and fully alive. Because I let go of judgments and assert myself peacefully, I can feel vibrant, hopeful, and fully alive. Okay, just massage in an inch below your pinky toe and a couple of inches above your fourth toe, in the middle of your foot. Really giving that a good rub as you assert yourself peacefully, knowing you can let go of judgments easily and allowing for hope to flow into your life. Okay. Breathing nice and deeply. Okay, so as you hold on to here, you might feel different shifts moving through your body. Just be aware of any pulses in your fingers. And just think about what's made you feel hopeful this week. Okay. Try to focus on things that can inspire you. I invite you to find something that inspires you each day. For myself, I have a little picture of Daisaku Ikeda that I look at every day. He inspires me, and I invite you all to go and look up about what he does and his impact, what he's been to the world. He is a real inspiration for me. On that note, I'm going to go on to the strengthening points. If you have just joined me just now, then you could hold the strengthening points. It's not always great to hold strengthening on its own. It's usually good to hold sedating and then strengthening. Most of the time when somebody's come in with an issue, personally, I've gone to sedate rather than strengthen. So if you have just joined me now, then rather than holding the sedation points, you can hold either side of your eyebrow with your forehead, or you can hold onto the heart electric points with the bladder alarm points, which is a few inches below your belly button. Okay. If you're continuing on, then stomach 36 is the next point you're going to be holding. So just bring your hand to your knee, just where the edge of your knee is. You've got three fingers down. You'll feel a little kind of dimple there, just as the muscle separates. And you're going to hold on there. Okay, so it's a few inches down from your knee, together with sorry. The knee points aren't actually, they're for next. They're the control points. You're going to hold the end of your pinky toe. So actually, this is another great one because you can hold this one at the same time again. So for this one, you're just going to bring your third finger on top of your second finger, okay, to the inside edge. So this, you're going to basically cross your fingers like so. And this stimulates the start of your large intestine meridian. You're going to hold on the large intestine meridian, and then you're going to hold on to the end of your pinky toe. Okay, so as you hold here, you can think about what you'd like to let go of. So the other reason for feeling hopeless is just holding on to things. So your large intestine is all about letting go of fear, guilt, anger, and shame, and living fully in the now. So if you're holding on to any of that stuff, then you can't feel hopeful, because you're maybe thinking, oh, but what if I let go of my boyfriend? Well, what will my world fall apart? That's not a very hopeful thought, is it? If you feel like you love something and they love you, then you've got to know that you could let them go and they will come back if they want. So that is the place of hope for yourself. Really, you can just rub the end of your pinky and the end of your finger and think about what you want to let go of that will make you feel hopeful. And if that is a scary thought, why is it a scary thought? Is it possible that you're holding on to stuff because you're scared of what might happen? And if that's the case, then I invite you to journal a little bit about that. And really just rubbing in those points, looking after yourself. I'm going to just hold here for a little while and see if you can notice any shifts in the energy there. Okay. So you might notice I'm starting to shake, which is a good thing for me because that means that stuff is moving. And it's more normal than not with the bladder meridian because it is really related to all the nerves in your body. I would be really surprised if it didn't cause some kind of shaking. Okay. Okay. And let go there now. Now I'm actually going to come on to some points. This last point, actually, you can't hold together unless you have particularly large hands, really skinny legs. You're going to hold, so bring your hand to the outside edge of your knee and a few inches below. So you've got the bony bit of your knee, and then just come a few inches below, and you'll feel the kind of separation of the muscle there. There's like a light dimple there. And you're going to hold 2 fingers and thumb together here, and you're going to come right to the middle of the back of your knee here and just hold the 2 together. So this is why for some people the back of the knee is super sensitive, because you're stimulating the bladder meridian, and the bladder meridian, like I said, it relates to all the nerves in your body. So it can be a really interesting part to work with in massage. It can be really sensitive. And for some people it's actually erogenous. So this point here relates to your stomach meridian. Your stomach is about trusting the mystery of life. And like I was saying, I've got Disaccopedi on my wall. He's the president of the SGI, and I wouldn't be able to chant if it weren't for him coming into the world and propagating Namyo Renge Kyo. And I'm not saying you have to chant, that's your personal choice, but definitely find something that makes you feel hopeful each day and do it, whether that's finding a song that you like, or dancing to something, or finding somebody that inspires you, like Greta, the environmentalist, listening to a great artist that's done his work, or even a pro skater, something that inspires you to do the best for yourself, make yourself better and look up to them. That is what these points are all about. Feeling hopeful because you're inspired. And you can hold these points on their own, or you can hold them with sedating and strengthening. Control points help to just bring about that sense of balance so that you can feel that connection between your stomach and your bladder meridians, so that you can trust in the mystery of life and be hopeful. And when you're really trusting the mystery of life, you find generally that coincidences just come up so often. And they're never really coincidences. I don't believe in coincidence, I believe in synchronicity. So just take a moment to focus in on your fingers. Notice if you feel any pulsing or any heat there. Okay, so I'm starting to feel a little shift. And I'm going to move over to the other side. So just bringing two fingers and your thumb right to the center of the back of your knee, and then coming to the edge of the knee bone, and then down a few inches, and then you've got your stomach at 36 points. So holding here, I'd like to just tell you the story of my profile picture. So if you're finding this on the Meridian Mastery group, then you might or may not have noticed my personal profile. So if you go to Susie Berry, you'll notice that behind my profile image is Namyo Renge-kyo, and it's written in the wall. And it was not me that wrote it. I went to the Beatles ashram in Rishikesh, and there is a building there that has 150 rooms, and it's completely open plan, and it's falling apart, and there is graffiti absolutely everywhere, and you can walk wherever you want. When I went in, I was with a group of friends, and we walked around a little bit, but something called me to the third floor, halfway along a corridor. I just knew I had to be in that room. And when I arrived there, I saw Namyo Renge-kyo against the wall, and I was really blown away. Like I said, there's no such thing as coincidence. And so that's really led me to really help understanding to trust in the mystery of life. And I know at the moment it's really difficult to trust in the mystery of life. Like, what on earth is going on with the world, with the police, with the COVID, with Trump? It's all a bit crazy. And doing that chanting has really helped me. And I hope you have something that's equally as inspirational and powerful for you to trust in the mystery of life. And at 8 o'clock, I'll be doing that guided meditation. And I hope to bring in the same sense of peace that I get from chanting to you, so that you can get a guided meditation that makes you feel joyful, hopeful, and feel like alive. Okay. So with that, I'm just going to let go here and briefly do a run through of everything that I've been taught up to this point. So take a nice deep breath. Just notice how you feel, if you feel differently from when you first came on to watch the video. Take a note of the acupressure points. So you can find them on innersource.net, or you can watch the video back. Okay. So basically, running through, I had this little bowling ball. You can have two or one. Just run it up and down the back of your spine. Or you can do the same thing with tennis balls that have little knots in the middle. And it's really great to just stimulate your spine, stimulate your your nervous system. Your heart electric point, so if you bring your hand just to your armpit and right across in line with your nipples, that is your heart electric there, and you can hold it along with your bladder alarm point, which is a few inches below your belly button, just on above your pubic bone. And you can hold there for as long as you like. When you let go, make sure you twist the skin on either side before you let go. And if you want to flush your bladder meridian, all you do is bring your hands to your toes, straight up the back of your legs, up your back, and then round your glutes, over the top of your head, and then do the same back down. So straight down your back, round your glutes, and the outside of your back, down your legs, and off your feet. And we're going to do that a few more times. Straight down your head, down your back, off your toes. Once more, straight down your head, hands to your back, around your glutes, and hands to your shoulders, and then straight down and off your pinky toe. Okay, so you've done the flushing. Your source point is right below the knobbly bit of your bone, just like in the middle of your foot, just here. Okay. That's your bladder 64 point. Okay, and that's a really good one to just give an extra boost of energy to your bladder meridian. Okay, and then your neurovasculars are just on either side of your eyebrows, together with the center ones on your forehead. Okay, just holding here and here. Then your lymphatics are a few inches out either side of your belly button. And just massage in there. And then massage right along the top of your pubic bone. And that's you. That will hopefully help to stimulate your whole bladder meridian. And I hope you feel much better for having listened to the class. Next week, we will be going on to gallbladder and then liver. And that's going to be our final one. So you've got 2 more weeks of lessons with me. And after that point, I will be collating all of the material and writing them up into a course. So you'll only have all the classes for free for the next little while. I hope you've been enjoying them. Please share them and let your friends know about next Monday. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.